Hi everyone, Katie Anderson, Leadership and Learning Coach, here today to talk with you in more detail about a recent video that I recorded about why I believe the scientific method should not start with plan and do, but rather study and adjust. And there was a great question in response to this video that I wanted to go into more deeply today. The question was about giving an example of the difference of our mindset if we start with plan, do, study, or check, act, PDCA or PDSA, versus what I encourage we start thinking more about, which is study, adjust, plan, do, or SAPD. One of the biggest reasons that we should be starting with studying and adjusting is because when we start with planning, without first learning and clarifying and studying what problem we're actually trying to solve, we start creating a bunch of plans and taking action without really clarifying what it is we are wanting to do. This is one of the things that happens for us when we leap and jump to conclusions. One of our problems is we're not taking the time to study and learn before we are taking action, before we are making plans. And this is part of the reason we get stuck in a plan, do, plan, do, plan, do cycle. We're not putting the focus on learning either after we have taken action or even before we have started to create plans and then taking action. So as in our human nature, there are two big problems that I see when we're doing problem solving. One is that we assume we know the problem we're trying to solve. And this is problematic because we're then jumping to conclusions. So that's the second one. We assume we know the solution to a problem we haven't yet defined, or the problem of the causes of the problem that we haven't yet defined. So we're starting with solutions when we start with plan and do. When we start with study, we really take down this messy, problematic condition that is presenting to us, and we really start to understand what's the real problem. And then we can frame our plan, our adjustments that we're wanting to make as experiments. So what is the problem we're trying to solve? What are the potential causes to this problem? And what experiments are we going to run to try and see if we can close the gap to solve the problem? And so if we can frame our plan and our actions as experiments, then it really supports that learning cycle again, because we can say, what did we expect to happen and what actually happened? So I wanted to show you a nice little drawing that I made here of the study, adjust, plan, do cycle. So if we start with study here, then we can deeply learn. We can understand what does better look like, what are some of the problems or the causes. Then we can create our plan. What do we expect to happen? When are we going to try things? Take the action, and then we can study again. But if we start just with planning, we may not really have defined either the problem or the causes, and I'm really missing the learning opportunity. If you find yourself starting with planning, I encourage you to say, for this idea that the action I want to take, what would improve if we took these steps? If we actually did the thing or implemented the thing, what would improve? That helps us to take some time to reflect and to study and actually understand what problem are we really trying to solve by jumping to the ideas that we're wanting to already go ahead and plan and do and take action on. So that was a little additional thinking about why I really encourage us to start with study and adjust and then plan, do. So I encourage you to keep going with your SAPD cycle and keep learning. And remember, learning is the most important thing, and it is the true secret to success. So start with study, adjust, and plan, do. Keep going. You can have more information on my website, kbjanderson.com, and also on the videos that I've been posting on LinkedIn and YouTube, and again on my website as well. So study, adjust, plan, do, keep learning, and keep sharing what you're learning. Thanks so much.